Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know I love getting your day started off on the right foot. And with that in mind, I use an inspiring quote. But this morning, instead, I'm going to use a question. Think about this. In our loudest moments, the world sees us. But in silence, who turns their gaze our way? Who checks in on you when you're quiet? When the noise of life fades and you're left with your thoughts, who reaches out to ensure that your silence isn't a cry for help, but a peaceful moment of rest? The people who notice your quietness, who see the space you take up even when you feel invisible, they are the rare gems in your life. It's in these moments of quiet that we find out who truly walks with us, not for the conversation or the laughter, but simply for the company. They are the ones who offer a hand, even when we haven't asked for one, who understand that checking in is more than a courtesy. It's a lifeline. Today, let's appreciate those silent guardians in our lives, and let's be that person for someone else. Because sometimes, the most powerful form of connection isn't a chorus of words, but a shared quiet that says, "I'm here for you." If this message speaks to you, let's spread the kindness. Check in on someone today. Be the one who reaches out. Wow. Did that speak to your heart like it spoke to mine? Goodness, I found that over on the Happiness Blueprint on TikTok, and I thought it was so good. So let's be that person today that checks in. Let's be that rare gem in somebody else's life, okay? Here's Mercy Me with To Not Worship You, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. I don't know about you, but lots of times for me to do something, I have to feel kind of motivated to do it. If it's just not the right time and I'm not feeling it, I'm not as apt to just get up and get it done, right? But when I really get motivated, watch out because, hey, I'm hyper-focused and I'm going to get it all done as quickly as I can. And it might take me a while, but I'm going to stay on it until it's done. But you know what? Sometimes I think motivation gets too much credit. And sometimes I think there's something else that wins over motivation every single day, actually. What is it? What wins out over motivation? I want you to be thinking about that because I'll bring you the answer right after this, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. And this is something we all can do. Stick around. What do you need to get stuff done? That's the question I've got for you this morning as we get ready to tackle this day. All right? Lots of times for me, it takes motivation. And I've just got to be in the right frame of mind, the right mood to really give it my all. But you know something? There's something else that trumps motivation every single time. Have you thought about it? What is it? What is that one thing that will do it? Well, here, I want to give you the answer. This is so good. Take a listen.
Discipline eats motivation for breakfast. You don't need motivation. It's great if it arrives. It's some extra fuel on the fire, but discipline is the thing that you need. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself. And it's why discipline is so much more valuable. I remember this conversation between Jocko Willink and Sam Harris 6 years ago. And they're talking about how you can't fake bravery, because if you do a thing in spite of being scared of doing the thing, that is bravery. Right? There's no such thing as fake bravery. Like if you do the thing and you're scared, that's bravery. If you don't do the thing and you weren't scared, that's not bravery, right? The same thing goes for discipline. Doing the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing is discipline, right? You don't need motivation to get yourself up to go and do a thing. Make the promise small, build it up step by step. Know that you are going to have setbacks, and this is my favorite rule from James Clear, which is a habit missed once is a mistake. A habit missed twice is the start of a new habit.
Powerful words. Goodness, think about that. Let it motivate you today.
I remember when a long lost sinner met a good God.
Right now it's 44 degrees in Scottsboro, 48 in Albertville, 49 in Bluentsville and Coleman, 51 right now in Gunnersville, 55 in Huntsville. Your word of life today comes to you from Romans chapter 10, verse 10 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. For it is by believing in your heart that you are made right with God, and it is by openly declaring your faith that you are saved. Oh, Man, I'm telling you, that's what it's all about. And it's our job to share that good news with somebody else. So, can you do that? Can you share that word of life with somebody? We've got it ready for you across all of our socials and at the top of our website. That's 885jfm.com. And while you're on our socials, why don't you go ahead and check that word of life out in video form as well. I try to put it up in so many different ways to encourage you to share it with somebody. And those things have been doing pretty well over on the socials, so thank you for sharing those. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And at the top of our website, well, you can click that On Now button to listen to us. Again, that's 885jfm.com. Right now, we've got listeners in Birmingham and Palm Coast, Florida, and Helsinki, Finland. Wow. Thanks for hanging out on the radio, the stream, or the podcast. There are so many compartments in your fridge already. I mean, in the door, you've got a place to put the butter, right? You've got other little shelves there. I mean, storage is really at a prime when it comes to your refrigerator. Well, you got the shelves, and then you got the crisper drawer, maybe one or two at the bottom. But could there be another compartment coming for something that doesn't belong in the fridge? Rather, it belongs in the bathroom. I don't know if you've seen this trend, but toilet paper in the fridge? What? Yeah, let's unpack that. Coming up next. Stick around. This is going to make you scratch your head. So what kind of toilet paper do you buy? The really good stuff, the thick stuff, the soft stuff, or is it tough, or is it the really thin stuff? I don't understand why Scott toilet paper is still in existence. I'm sorry. It's just too thin. You got to have layers and layers before you use it, right? But what I'm about to tell you can use your toilet paper for is not for the conventional reason. Instead, did you know you can put toilet paper in your fridge? I know you can. You can put toilet paper anywhere you want to, but why would you put it in your fridge? Well, you probably want the more absorbent roll of toilet paper. Okay, so here you go. You take a fresh roll of toilet paper out of the package. You make a paste with some baking soda, right? You put that paste on top of the roll, and then you set that roll of toilet paper in your fridge. And I've seen it done with the paste and without the paste, but they say the absorbency of that toilet paper is going to absorb all the odors and the extra humidity in your fridge, helping things to stay fresher, longer, and help your fridge not to stink. It's toilet paper. Where would you put this anyway? Are we going to have a new compartment just for a roll of toilet paper before too much longer? I don't understand where they got this, but they said that it came from the hospitality industry, the hotel industry. I've never seen a roll of toilet paper in a hotel refrigerator. I just haven't. But live and learn, right? So I don't know. You might want to try this out. Now, some people use the paste with, the traditional baking soda stuff with the toilet paper, and others, they'll just take a roll of toilet paper and put it in the fridge, and they say that works by itself. So I don't know. It's something to experiment with. If you ever have company over, you might want to make sure that you're the person getting stuff out of the fridge and you don't let them open it up and see just how weird you might be with having a roll of toilet paper in the fridge. But anyway, I report, you decide. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Whew, toilet paper in the refrigerator. That's a new use. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'm getting ready to tell you about some pretty amazing kids right here in our community from Boaz, Alabama, that are making a big difference. I hope you'll stick around because I want you to hear about this story. But first, Mandisa, an unfinished, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. These young ladies were working on some outdoor skills when they stumbled upon something that is raising money for a very worthy cause, and they're from Boaz. Stick around. Lila Holiday, Paisley Peak, Mary Claire Somerville, Evelyn Turner, Bree Strassner. They are all in this picture, and they've got their arms out with this beautiful bracelet on each of their wrists. And why are they posing for the picture? I'm glad you asked. Because, well, you see, the Sand Mountain Reporter decided to do a little story on them, and this is some really good news. So these young ladies are part of the American Heritage Girls Troop, 145 at Beulah Baptist Church in Boaz. And they've started working on their outdoor survival skills, those badges, right? And knot tying was a requirement. And the girls struggled with the knots. Cherie Fox, she's the leader of the Explorers group. She decided to help them out. She said they struggled with it because they were knots and they weren't used to tying. I used to do macrame way back in the day, and I knew the knots, so I showed them some things they could make. She then taught them how to make bracelets. The girls asked me, "Can we make these and sell them?" I told them that they needed lots of practice because they just weren't the best knots, she said. And the girls range in age from 8 to 11. They continued to practice, and they eventually got really good at their new craft. And wow. I asked them what they wanted to do with the money when they sold them, and they said, "The Maker's Child, the playground, and Mia Sanders, a girl in our troop, were their inspiration," she said. "It touches my heart because it makes it all worthwhile." Too often young people don't care, and these girls care about everyone. They're willing to do what it takes to help. We donated this money in honor of Miss Mia. Mia has inspired us with this project to do our best each week, and these girls hope in the very near future that they are going to get to play on the playground with Mia. Wow. Bree Strasner from Albertville Elementary said she feels like everyone needs a place to play. "We wanted to do the Maker's Child because boys and girls without disabilities and boys and girls with disabilities deserve a place they can go and be safe to play. There's a lot of kids in my school that have disabilities. One girl has headphones on because things are too loud for her and she gets overwhelmed. I feel that this playground would be soft and subtle for her to play." Paisley Peak, she's a 10-year-old from Cherokee Elementary right here in Gunnersville. She agrees everyone should have a playground. "I think everyone should have a safe playground. If you had a disability, you should have a way to get on the slides and rock walls and maybe the zip lines. I have a friend at school who has a very bad disability. She can't see or hear. She's in a wheelchair and very little. This playground would also be able to help her too." So the girls agreed that the knot making got a little easier as they continued to practice. At first it was hard, but once you got good at it, it was a lot better, they said. Now, the Maker's Child, Holly Willoughby, she's the founder and director there. She has been presented with a check for $1,405 from the sales of those handmade bracelets and buddy clips. What do you think about that? A worthwhile cause, some girls who wanted to do some good and learn some skills at the same time. It's just good news I had to share with you. And if you want to see the story for yourself, it's at sandmountainreporter.com, right there on their main page. Oh, some good news happening right here in our own community. How cool is that? And for more about the Maker's Child and what all they do there, well, you can just visit their website, themakerschild.org. I got a good feeling somebody's going to be winning some gift cards very, very soon on the Carline competition. Is it going to be you? I sure hope so. We'll find out shortly. Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Give me the horn! All right, now let's go ahead and crank that engine and let's start the music so I can say, "Hey everybody, it's time to play the Carline competition." It's your chance to win some gift cards this morning. It's a trivia game. I'm going to ask a question, give you the cue to call. When you call me up and give me the right answer, you're going to win some gift cards. Not just one, not two, but 3. 1 to keep, 2 to give away. I'm even going to ask you who you're going to share the love with. But Steven, what kind of gift cards? Well, see, you'll get 1 to Wendy's for a Frosty, 1 to Albertville Home Bakery for a couple of cupcakes or cookies, your choice, and 1 to the Caring Heart Thrift Store in Arab. A $5 gift card. You can get a lot at the thrift store for $5. So, let's start, shall we? Here's your first question of today's Carline competition. All right, so if you've ever watched the Disney movie Tangled, you remember that the chameleon was there. His name was Pascal. And I didn't know this until this morning. But that word Pascal means something else as well. What is a Pascal a measure of? Does it measure weight, resistance, noise, or pressure? 256-505-0885 is a number to call. Again, what is a Pascal a measure of? Is it weight, resistance, noise, or pressure? And if you remember in the movie Tangled, Rapunzel had to deal with a lot of this from her mom. That should help you out. And there's my caller. Stay on the phone line with me while I start this next song and I will get your answer. Here's David Leonard with Josh Baldwin and Every Hour. Okay, so I'm getting ready to share this last call with you, but I wanted to remind you of something. Yesterday, I was able to talk with Andrew Ripp, who's going to be in concert coming up this Sunday. And of course, be listening later on in the show for your chance to win some tickets to that. But I wanted to remind you of something. During that interview, we were talking about a few things. It's a little alliteration, right? We talked about the Rip Drip, about his outfit that he had on the tour poster. We talked about the Rip Flip. That's him doing a backflip in front of his daughter at like 40 years old. Yeah, kind of dangerous, right? But then we talked about the rip sip. Did you go over to our socials and see the video so that you could actually see what mug we're talking about? It was a coffee mug that had Sasquatch on it. And if you haven't seen it yet, you need to go over there and check it out. You will bust out laughing when you see what's on that coffee cup. It's so funny. So do yourself a favor, check that out, and come right back because we got some more car line competition to play. Okay? Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good. What's your name?
Emma.
Emma. All right, Emma. So anything big happening at school today?
No.
Just another day at school. Just more of the same.
Yes.
Do you ever get tired of it?
Yes.
Do you ever get bored with it?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Well, let's see if we can pep you up this morning. Let's see if we can have some fun before you even get there. I got this question right here that could land you 3 gift cards. Have you ever watched the movie Tangled?
Yes.
You have. Okay, so you remember Rapunzel had that chameleon whose name was Pascal. I loved that little thing. He was so funny. But Pascal also means something. So what is a Pascal a measure of? Is it weight, resistance, noise, or pressure?
Pressure.
Pressure? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Congratulations! You just won! Ha ha! Woo! You're so smart. How did you know that?
I learned it in class.
Oh, very cool. Well, you just never know when those little bits of information are going to pay off. You just won 3 gift cards, 1 to keep, 2 to give away. And I wonder if you could tell me about the 2 very special people in your life that are going to get a gift card from you.
My best friend Emma.
Emma, okay.
And my brother.
Your brother? Okay, I've got to hear about this. First, tell me about that best friend. What do you love about her?
She's kind.
Awesome. All right, how long have y'all been friends?
2 years.
Oh, cool. All right. And what grade are you in?
5th.
All right, nice. All right, now I need to hear this because, you see, me and my brother, we didn't get along all the time. In fact, we got in a lot of fights. I still love him and all, but I wonder, what do you love about that brother of yours?
He's sometimes kind.
Sometimes kind?
Yeah.
I understand that completely. Anything else you just really love about him?
He's sometimes sad, and I just love him so much.
Oh, very cool. A lot of love being shared on the radio. Thank you so much for calling me and playing my game. Very good. Well, I hope that you have the best day ever. And I think it's so funny that your best friend's name is Emma and your name is Emma, right?
Yeah.
How cool is that? You're like twinning. That's great. All right. Well, have a great day. And thanks again for calling.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
That is how it's done. Emma Ballinger winning some gift cards this morning, and I wonder if you're going to do the same, because you see, I've got another question here, and 3 gift cards attached to them, so let's do it. In computing, which one of these is largest? Gigabyte, megabyte, kilobyte, or byte? 256-505-0885 is a number to call. Again, in computing, in the computer world, which one of these is the largest? Is it the gigabyte, the megabyte, the kilobyte, or the byte? 256-505-0885 is a number to call. Waiting on your call right now. 256-505-0885. Is it gigabyte, megabyte, kilobyte, or byte? 88.5 JFM. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. What's your name?
Rocky.
I love that name, Rocky. What grade you in?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. All right. Has school been fun so far?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. You have a lot of friends?
Yeah.
That is wonderful. Now, let's play a game. See if we can have some fun this morning. Got this question here. So, with computers, in the computer world, which one of these is the largest? A gigabyte, megabyte, kilobyte, or byte?
Gigabyte.
Gigabyte is correct! Congratulations to you! You're in kindergarten and you knew the answer to that I didn't even know until I was in high school. You are so stinking smart, Rocky. Congratulations! You just won. What do you think about that?
Good.
Good. I think it's good too. Now here's the part I love, because we're giving you 3 gift cards. 1 to keep, 2 to give away. Who are the 2 people you're going to give a gift card to?
Jay and Token.
All right, tell me something special about Jay.
We play alone, and we also play tag, because we're also friends.
Oh, cool. And who was that second person?
Person.
All right, tell me something special about that person.
We always talk about something at work, and every time when we do recess, we play with each other.
Oh, that's awesome. You got some really cool friends in your life, Rocky. Thank you so much for calling me this morning. I think you had a little fun, didn't you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, is mom or dad in the car with you?
Sister.
Oh, your sister. Can I talk to sister real quick?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain. That was pretty fun. Is that the first time I've heard from Rocky?
It is the first time.
I thought so. Now, who am I talking with now?
This is Zoe.
Zoe. All right. So how's your day going so far?
Good, how was yours?
It's coming along okay. Yeah, I really have a lot of fun doing this car line competition. So, it kind of gets my day kicked off right, too. So,
I like to listen to the little kids on it when they have the little funny answers, and they explain who their two favorite people are. It's really heartwarming.
oh, I'm glad you enjoy it. Well, thank you so much for listening. I got that address, and I'm going to get those gift cards sent that way, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
How cool is that? That's how we do the car line competition around here. All right, we'll tell you what. I might have time for one more question right after your weather and word of life. So let's find out together. Got a few business and ministry impact partners, your weather, your word of life, and I'll be back. Well, you know what? It looks like we've got enough time for one more question. So let me go ahead and get it out here. See if we might get one more winner. What is another word for the eye socket? Is it the mandible, the orbit, the maxilla, or the fontanelle? 256-505-0885 is a number to call. Again, what is another word for the eye socket? Is it mandible, orbit, maxilla, or fontanelle? 256-505-0885 is a number to call, and I'm waiting on your call right now. 256-505-0885. Another word for the eye socket. Is it mandible, orbit, maxilla, or fontanelle? Ooh, you call, you win. 88.5 JFM, good morning.
Hey there.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's been a little while since I heard from you, sir. How's life?
Oh, it's good.
Good. How are the grandkids?
They're doing all right.
I'm glad to hear it.
They're doing pretty good. Their daddy is taking them to school this morning.
Oh, cool. All right, so I'm talking with Stanley Marsh, right?
Right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm headed toward the gym to work out.
Oh, cool. All right, how much you been pumping these days?
I can do 180 on certain things.
Ooh, man. Getting stronger every day. That's awesome. Keep up the good work. Well, let's see if we can work out your mind for a second, Stanley. I got a question for you. What's another word for the eye socket? Is it mandible, orbit, maxilla, or fontanelle?
I believe it's orbit.
I believe you are correct, sir. Yes. Congratulations. You just won 3 gift cards. You know how this works. We want you to keep one and give 2 away to 2 very special people. Who are those 2 people?
Well, I'd like to this morning just donate to somebody else.
Okay. You want to just roll them over?
Roll them over.
All right, we can do that. So tomorrow morning, we will start with 6 gift cards instead of 3 because of Stanley Marsh. That sounds like a pretty good plan.
Sounds like a good thing.
Cool. Hey, do you want to shout somebody out this morning? Just share some love with them here on the radio.
Well, yeah, I'd like to shout out to my grandkids. They're camping. They're camping overnight and at the Little River campground, a resort.
Yeah.
And they're all probably on the way to school now. They might listen. They listen to us.
Yeah.
They listen to 88.5, so they might hear me.
That's awesome. That is so cool. So, yeah, I'm going to get this thing edited together and get it on the radio, and we'll see if maybe you'll hear from them and saying, you shouted us out on the radio. Thank you. Cool, Stanley Marsh. Have a wonderful day, and thanks again for listening.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye. How cool is that? Rolling them over to the next caller, which will happen tomorrow morning. Starting at 7 o'clock, we'll play the car line competition again. All right? Stanley Marsh, such a big heart he has. So glad to hear from him. It has been a little while. All right, well, we've got like 2.5 hours of show left. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I hope you'll stick around. And remember, if you have to step away from your radio, you can tune us in online. Keep us on your smart device. Put us in your cubicle at work. Keep us in the background, in the office, at home, whatever you're doing. We would love to be a part of it. Keep you some inspiration and some encouragement going. Yeah? Plus, I got some really cool stuff to talk about coming up, so I hope that you'll be here. All right, more great music right now. I've got the Afters, and I Will Fear No More, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. You have got to hear this story about the Sunshine File. Oh, it's going to rock your world today, and it's going to give you a little homework that is so worth it. So I hope that you'll stick around and hear it for yourself. The Sunshine File. It's a really cool story, and I'm getting ready to share it with you next. But in preparation, I need to ask you a question. What do you call a questionable noodle? An impasta. That's going to make sense when you hear Neil Ford share the Sunshine File with you coming up. There's that moment that we all come to in life where we think, oh, I need an adult. And then you realize that you are the adult in the situation. Yeah, sometimes you find yourself not really knowing how you got to where you are. And it's like, am I qualified to do this? And you're trying to figure things out as you go. In fact, a lot of people deal with a little something called imposter syndrome. I'm going to let Neil Ford kind of spell that one out for you and tell you what you can do to get out of that funk when you feel like you are an imposter. This makes so much sense. See what you think about this.
You've probably heard the term imposter syndrome, where some people feel like incompetent frauds, even though they are often highly competent and highly accomplished people. It's a real thing, though, and it saps the confidence of some wonderful folks. My friend Heidi will sometimes have these moments of doubt, so she's created something that she calls a Sunshine File, in which she keeps some of the kind words that people have written about her and examples of cool things that she's done. She doesn't share these things with the world, she just peeks at them occasionally to remind herself that maybe she's okay, which she finds very effective at restoring her confidence in cloudy moments. Now, as it happens, objectively, she's not a fraud, she's what I call phantasmo, and I made a chart to demonstrate what I mean. If you look here, you can see that Phantasmo is just below Great to the Power of Infinity and just above Ultra Deluxe. And it is my intention to add this to her Sunshine File. Now, if you happen to know someone who is occasionally seized by an unfairly negative self-assessment, I would like to encourage you to take a moment today to contribute something to their Sunshine File.
The Sunshine File. I absolutely love it. Little reminders that, hey, you're on the right track, that you deserve to be here. You belong, and hey, you've got this. I love that. I had to share it with you. Now, let's whistle a little bit. Here's Jordan Feliz with The King is Alive. Let's do it. You sound good. Keep it up.
Come on now, get in line with it. Sing it out, tell them God did it.
Getting your first job, it's a big deal. And lots of times you start off at maybe a fast food restaurant. Well, back in the 70s, I mean, that was the most coveted position, was flipping burgers at McDonald's. And there's one guy who started there when he was 16 years old. Now, he was there, you know, loved hanging out with his friends and getting the unlimited French fries for employees back then. He was only making $1.85 an hour, but, you know, he had big dreams for his future. He was going to go to college. In fact, he did go to college. He was getting a degree in business and all these things to set himself up for the future, but he had a conversation with his dad. And this conversation, well, really helped him decide what he wanted to do for the rest of his life. Where did flipping burgers at McDonald's factor into that picture? Did it at all, or would he move on to bigger and brighter things? Well, I want you to stick around and find out for yourself, because it's a pretty cool story that you're going to love. Back in 1973, Paul Hendel was 16 years old working at the Golden Arches. McDonald's, flipping burgers. In fact, that was one of the most coveted jobs, one of the coolest jobs you could have. And it came with some perks, too, because, I mean, hanging out with your friends, between shifts and on break times, and then all the unlimited fries you could eat. But the pay was $1.85 an hour. Back in the 70s, that was pretty good, right? Well, now this was like his first job at 16 years old, and so he had big dreams for the future. He was going to go to college, right? And so he set that up. In fact, he almost quit McDonald's before his first semester at college. He actually went to Long Island University, okay? So he planned to graduate with a bachelor's degree in business and a concentration in marketing and join his dad, Hank, who worked for a brokerage firm on Wall Street. But something happened. You see, before he could quit, before he could put in his 2 weeks notice, well, his manager kind of got the idea that he was going to try to leave. And he didn't want him to do that. In fact, he said, hey, we're opening up another McDonald's 30 minutes away. I want you to go over there and help open this store. I want to promote you to assistant manager. And so he hawed about it. He kind of, thought it through, and he decided, that would really help me to pay my way through college. And he's so glad that he did. He went ahead, took the position. He did miss a few parties. He regrets that, but he didn't have a whole lot of student debt when he was done. In fact, when he was done with college, everything was already paid because of that great job. Now, it was done. He had worked at McDonald's. He had gotten through college. He's graduated, and now he's thinking about going and joining his dad on Wall Street. That's what he got the degree for, right? Well, the guy he was working for, he kind of got this hint that Paul was getting ready to leave. So he said, Paul, I don't want you to leave. In fact, I want to promote you to a supervisor. I want you to manage 5 McDonald's. I want you to oversee the day-to-day operations. And so this was really a decision that he had to think long and hard about, because his whole plan, his growth plan, had to deal with Wall Street and working with his dad. And so he got to thinking about it. And it was the conversation with his dad that really helped him decide what he was going to do for the rest of his career. He said, we were out to dinner and I mentioned the offer. And my dad's first question, I'll never forget it, was, do you like what you do? And I said, yeah, I really love it. And he goes, do you think you're good at it? And Paul said, well, I just got promoted. His dad said, Paul, if that's what you like to do and you're good at it, stick with it, because I'm not crazy about my job or commuting into Manhattan every day. Paul says, I realized then that work isn't just about getting a paycheck every week. I'm so glad he gave me that advice, because I still love what I do. What is Paul up to these days? Well, I'm so glad that you asked. You see, back in 1980, he became one of the owners. Yeah. And he started off with one owner-operator, McDonald's. And then, every year since, he's acquired about another restaurant per year, reaching a grand total of over 30 McDonald's locations across Long Island, Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan, including their flagship restaurant in Times Square. All these years later, Paul Hendel, still happy to be with McDonald's. How cool is that? A lot of people look at that first job, especially if it's fast food, as, just a stepping stone, just a way to make some money to get to your next destination. But what Paul found was he was really good at customer service, and he got better at managing people, and it's something he absolutely loves to do. So I just had to bring that story to you to let you know that you never quite know what you're going to end up doing. I'm sure that you've got a very interesting story as well. I do. I went to school for music, right? To be like a band director. Well, I don't work with a band. I'm not a band director. I do work in music every day, though. Right here on the radio station. Can I tell you how many radio classes I took in college? You ready for this? I took 1 because I was interested in radio. That was it. And now I'm here with you every day, hanging out. I came up through television and now on radio, and it's been a blast. And I love what I do. So we just never know. I love the way that old lyric says it. Life is what happens when you're busy making plans. You kind of find your niche, you know what I mean? You find what you're good at and you stick with it. and it's something God can bless you in. So I don't know, maybe you feel like you're less than because you never went to that next step that everybody thought you should, but you're happy where you're at and you're fulfilled doing what you do and you enjoy it. Well, you know what? I think you won. I really do. Yeah. You don't have to live up to somebody else's standards or expectations. You were built for a reason. And likely what you're doing right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. So, hey, it's all good. Just wanted to encourage you this morning. Can I just say, y'all rock? I'm serious. I was just sharing a story a few minutes ago about Paul, who started his job at McDonald's when he was 16 years old. And all these years later, he finds himself as an owner-operator of 31 McDonald's, including the one in Times Square. It's a pretty big deal. Now, that was supposed to be just a stepping stone for him, and he was supposed to move on to bigger and brighter things when he was a kid, before he went to college, but he stuck with it, and he made a career of it. It just goes to show you never know exactly where you're going to fit, but he found where he fit, and it worked out for him, and somebody heard my story and called me up, and I want to share that call with you. This touched my heart.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for calling me this morning. What's up?
I just wanted to tell you that I'm glad that you are where you're at, and I think that's where God meant you to be.
Oh, thank you so much.
I really enjoy listening to you, and I think having you in that position makes the radio station that much better.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Wow.
Have a blessed day, Stephen.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. What does it take to have a good relationship, a healthy, long-lasting relationship? I mean, you've seen couples that have been married for 40, 50, even sometimes 60 years. That's a long time to stick through thick and thin together. What's the secret to a long-lasting relationship? I've got a little bit of advice for you. Coming up after this, it's Leanna Crawford, and How Can You Not? Stick around. You're going to love it. Relationships. The longer I live, the more I understand that relationships are what it's all about. I mean, look at it, how this spiritual life works. What is it? It's a relationship between you and your Savior. It's a relationship between you and your Father. And for a relationship to work, there has to be mutual trust. There has to be conversation. There has to be a choice to stick through thick and thin together. Now, not just spiritually, but even with that special somebody, maybe your soulmate, the one you're doing life with. Yeah, my wife and I, wow, we've been married for a while now, 16 years. It's pretty cool. It's been a pretty cool ride. And we always decided that the big D word was never going to be in our vocabulary. We'd never even consider it. We're going to try to work everything out. And so far, it's worked, and I thank God it has. I was talking with a friend of mine, Bud Williams. He told me, keeping God at the center of your relationship, that's what's going to help. I said, Bud, you are 100% accurate. I came across a little bit more of some advice that I think is worth sharing with you. So let me pass it along from Julian. And Julian de Medeiros is his name, and he has a pretty cool way of saying it. I wanted you to hear it for yourself. So here, see what you think about this.
Okay, so here's what I think is the most important sign that you're going to be in a happy relationship. And I think this is especially true if you're actually in love, because love is not always enough. It's a good starting point, but it can also cause you a whole lot of trouble. And it's an idea that goes back to the thinker Erich Fromm, who once wrote, "Love is not natural. It requires discipline, concentration, patience, and faith. But above all, a willingness to overcome your own narcissism. Love is not a feeling, it is a practice." And I love that idea of love as a daily practice because, like all good things in life, it doesn't happen by itself. Love takes and requires work, and building a happy relationship is something that you do together over time. This means that you have to overcome challenges. It means that you have to grow together and that you have to encourage each other to change. Love is a good starting point. But love is not a feeling, it is a practice. It is a daily practice of wanting to figure it out together. That is love, and that's how you're going to be in a happy relationship.
I want to talk about some epiphanies that I've come across here lately. I haven't really thought about these very much before now, but I want to blow your mind with them too, okay? So here we go. The first one, we're living in the 20s of the 2000s. We're going to look as primitive by the 2090s as the people of the 1920s looked to the people in the 1990s. That one hurts. This is not okay. Okay, here's one that's really going to get you. Ready for this? You probably haven't thought about these things for a really long time, but the teeth that fell out of your mouth during childhood are still out there somewhere. Ooh, maybe you even have them. Maybe your mom still has them tucked away somewhere. It's kind of gross and kind of cool all at the same time. And here's the last one. I never thought about this until this morning. The Three Musketeers are always depicted using swords instead of, muskets. That's so right. They always have the swords.
All for one, and one for all.
I'm getting ready to share some brand new music with you at the top of the hour. I think you're really going to love it from a new artist, so stick around for that. I'll even have the story behind the song so you can hear the motivation, what went into it. And it's a story that's going to connect with a lot of people, so stick around.
Right before I hit the ground zone, all you came along and found me.
That's Miracles by Colton Dixon. And boy, do I have a story to share with you of a brand new artist. You've probably never heard of this guy. Well, unless you, watched American Idol. That's why it's so funny that Colton Dixon came up right before I got ready to talk about Jeremy Rosado. You see, he came from a big Puerto Rican family, loved celebrating together, and Jeremy was the singer. He would sing at all the big family events, right? One day he saw American Idol on TV, and he set his lifelong goal to be on it. After 4 separate auditions that resulted in being sidelined, Jeremy thought he might give up on the dream, but one more opportunity came around, but it was formidable. Beating 12,000 who showed up that day for the American Idol Season 11 audition in Savannah, Georgia. He did it. Jeremy not only made the cut that day, but captured the audience and finished the TV show as a finalist at number 12 alongside roommate Colton Dixon, who you just heard from, and as a favorite of Jennifer Lopez. Jeremy has one of the most beautiful voices I've heard, she said. And guess what? Jeremy has a new song that is charting right now in Christian music, and I want you to hear the story behind the song. So here, take a listen to this.
Hey guys, I'm Jeremy Rosado, and this is the story behind my song, Come and See. I got into the studio to write Come and See quite a few months ago with a couple friends of mine, and when we sat down to write this song, I really wanted to speak into my sister's life. Some of you may know a bit of my story, my testimony. I am a single dad. I've got a 20-year-old daughter, and she's biologically my niece. The reason I got to become her dad was because my sister has had an addiction her entire adult life that never let her be the mom she needed to be. And she lets me share this story, so I do. And I say all this to say, this past year has been one of the hardest years in my sister's addiction and in her life. And I remember going into the room to write Come and See, and I had gotten off a phone call with her that was super tough, and she was just asking me to give her reasons why she should keep going, why she should keep trying. And there were personal reasons about her kids and my daughter, and how there was so much more life to live, and there was so much more, but I really wanted to encourage her with a really bold statement and something that she could believe and declare even before she actually believed it. I wanted her to say these words, come and see what God has done. I believed in that moment that in the future, whenever God performed this miracle in her life, that she would be able to declare, come and see what God has done. Ever since I met Amazing Grace, everything changed. And if you need proof that God can do anything, come and see my life. Here I am, maybe about 8 months after writing this song, and God is performing a miracle in front of my eyes. My sister has been clean now for quite some time, and she's on her healing journey and her restoration journey. But God has proven himself to be faithful. He's proven that he can do anything, and he is restoring everything. And so I just want that to encourage you today. If that story resonates with you in any way, and if you can put yourself into the POV of God has changed my life too, this is my story, I hope that it touches you like that and that it meets you right where you are right now.
Here's Jeremy now with Come and See, currently sitting at the 35th spot on the Christian Top 40. I think you're going to love this. Turn it up.
I've seen the lowest low you could imagine.
You remember the old story about the tortoise and the hare? Which one won the race? Of course, it wasn't the hare. Yeah, he was really fast and all, but he kept taking breaks and doing this and that. But that tortoise, he just stuck with it, kept moving forward, inch by inch, and he won the race. Well, there's a lot of truth that's summed up in that story, and I want to share a little bit of it with you next. So stick around. We'll get into it after this. But Steven, there's so much to do. I don't think I can handle it all. There's so many responsibilities. I just feel overwhelmed. Welcome to the club. I think most of us feel that way. It's like, you remember how, like, when you were in school, you had some weird old person that told you, hey, enjoy these times because when you get out there in the real world, you're going to wish for these days again. And you thought at the time, yeah, right. I just want to be able to drive. I want to live on my own. And now it's like, yep, they were right. I wish I could go back to having all my needs met, my parents keeping me at their house and not having a care in the world, but making good grades. Yeah, I got you. But let's be honest, when we have an insurmountable mountain of responsibilities in front of us, what do we like to do? Well, we like to cower in fear. We like to walk away from it and go crawl up in a hole somewhere and take a nap. But we can't do that. You can't let the whole idea that it's too much stop you from moving forward. I mean, think about the tortoise and the hare, right? I know it was a race. The tortoise, well, he was a little, I don't know, too willy-nilly about the whole thing. He knew he was fast, but you see, he didn't win the race, did he? No, it was the tortoise, because slow and steady won the race. And there's something to be said about all of our responsibilities. Slow and steady wins the race. And I came across somebody who has a pretty cool way of saying it. I want you to hear it from her. Her name is Mel Robbins, and this is how she says it.
Hey, it's your friend Mel, and I want to remind you, doing something little by little is so much better than doing nothing at all. There have been so many times in my life where I didn't get started, or I talked myself out of doing something because I didn't think it was big enough, or I didn't think that I was ready, or I didn't think that I had enough time. And the truth is, little by little is better than nothing at all. So little by little, every single day, if you just chip away at it, something interesting happens. You find the way.
So join me and let's chip away at it a little day by day. Yeah, what you don't know about my situation is here at the station, there are a lot of things to do. And guess who's doing them? Yeah, this guy. So from the website to the socials to on-air and programming, making sure new music is here on the show, reaching out to our business and ministry impact partners, all of the things. There are a lot of things. I just chip away, a little by little, day by day, and somehow it's working. Thank you, Jesus, because, anyway, if you feel overwhelmed, you're not alone, but you can do this. God has you right where He has you for a reason. So keep your head held high and keep moving forward and know that a little bit along is just fine. Just keep moving. Here's Kane with I'm So Blessed. Yeah, it happens. You wake up, the first question on your mind is, why does my back hurt? And then you look at yourself in the mirror, it's like, where did all those wrinkles come from? Getting older, not so fun sometimes. But you know what? There's a little something we can talk about. A little study was done recently about just how well Alabama has been embracing aging. You might be startled at the results of it. Stick around. We'll dig into it next. There's a little something I used to do a whole lot of when I was working in television news. It was MOS. If you don't know what that stands for, it's Man on Street. Basically, I'd take my camera and I'd take a microphone and I'd walk around at gas stations or in public places and I'd walk up to people and ask them questions. And I'd get their response. You can learn a lot about somebody that way, just out of the blue, show up with a microphone. Hey, how are you today? You mind if I ask you a question? And you point the mic their way and you ask. You never know what kind of response you're going to get. Yeah, there were some funny responses. There were some serious responses too. I came across this guy who was doing those man on the street interviews, and This one really caught my attention because it's something that we all, I think, deal with as we live this life. And it's something we don't realize until we get there. Here, take a listen to how it all went down.
How old are you? 68. What does it feel like to be 68 years old?
I'll answer that in depth if you want. You feel like you played tackle football the day before. You just can't remember why you feel so sore. And you're up and you're doing things and you're just really sore, you know? And then you go into the bathroom and you go like this. Because all of a sudden there's this old face in front of you. I'm old, I forgot.
Oh my goodness. That's something I've been realizing too. Those wrinkles, they keep on coming. They don't stop. In fact, recently I had a dermatologist appointment, right? I went in, got checked out. Everything's good. But I got to asking him, like, because I'm over 40 now. What should I be doing? Especially with my face. What kind of things should I be, using? And of course, they said moisturizers are great. They even told me a few products that they sell there at the dermatologist office. And yeah, they're pretty expensive. And something about hyaluronic acid and all these other things. And it's like, all that will help those fine lines and wrinkles kind of not look so pronounced. It's one of those things I realize as I get older is I don't look the same that I used to when I was younger. I don't feel the way I used to when I was older. I came across another interview recently, one of those same kind over on TikTok, and they were interviewing a lady who was 93 years old, who said that just her feet hurt, but she was happy to be living at 93 years old, that she has a good life. She enjoys what she does. And it's all about living in the moment. I just wanted to remind you of that I don't think any of us really thought about getting older in the way that we have experienced getting older. But it's one of those things you learn as you go. And I'm so glad that we have each other to kind of rely on because we got each other's backs, It's not like we're getting old all by ourselves. Our friends, well, they're coming right along with us, aren't they? Yeah. So I don't think we need to get so bent out of shape over this whole idea of getting older because it really is a blessing to still be here. I came across a little study, 2006 Americans, and they asked them about their experiences with getting older. And here are some of the key findings. I thought this was so interesting. So, Alabama is the number 3 state most hesitant to embrace all the changes that come with aging. Only 39% of Alabama residents report embracing their gray hair while aging. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting the Just for Men, especially for my goatee, because it's more gray than it's ever been, right? But I don't know. Do I just let the salt and pepper come through? Do I let it go completely gray? 51% of people in Alabama report embracing skin changes that come with aging, like wrinkles and sunspots. And that's one of the questions I had from my dermatologist. It's like, hey, I've got this over here on my face. Oh, yeah, that's just a sunspot. I said, we could freeze that if you want to, but it might come out, lighter than it is dark right now. It'd be lighter than the rest of your skin. I'm like, no, we'll just leave it alone then. But 73% of Americans, and I want you to hear this, all right? 73% of Americans believe older individuals are just as beautiful as their younger counterparts. I love it. So, you got wrinkles. Okay. Your body doesn't feel as good as it used to. All right. You can't get around as well anymore. You don't have as much energy. Yeah, that comes with it. But you know what? You're still here. You still add value. And you are still loved. You're here for a reason. I just wanted to remind you of that. So, don't get down about being older. If anything, you should be proud of the fact and blessed and thankful and grateful for the fact that God has allowed you to be here as long as He has, because you've got a job to do. And I'm so glad to be right here alongside you. So thank you for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. And keep up the good work. We'll get through this. And one of these days, we won't have to worry about aging anymore. Here's Micah Tyler with New Today, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. I do need to get to a little bit of business. I haven't done yet. So, this week we're talking a little more about this Big Feelings tour with Andrew Ripp. In fact, if you didn't catch the interview, I did it yesterday, put it on the air here. It's also on our socials. You can go check it out on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok on the station pages. But that one I put up on TikTok is doing very well, by the way. But Andrew's such a cool guy. I'm so glad that he carved out some time for us to kind of learn more about him. And I'll be bringing interviews with Rachel Lampa and Blessing Offer later this week as we get ready for their big concert this Sunday. But you know what? I think somebody would like to go to the concert. I got a pair of tickets up for grabs right now. Be the first caller at 256-505-0885. 256-505-0885. The Big Feelings Tour with Andrew Ripp, Rachel Lampa, and Blessing Offer this Sunday in Huntsville at Mars Music Hall. You want a pair? 256-505-0885. Waiting on your call right now. Now let's hear from one of those artists. It's Blessing Offer with Your Love. There's my caller. Y'all, this was so much fun. I just got a caller, and you have got to hear this call. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh my God.
Why are you so excited?
Because I never ever get through to a radio station.
And you just happened to this time, and I told you if you were the first caller, you win a pair of tickets to a big concert, and you are my first caller.
Driving. Oh my God. Thank you, Lord.
I am so glad that you are so happy. What's your name?
My name is Kadeen.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. And tell me, what does Christian radio mean to you?
Oh my gosh, it is my blessing. It is such a wonderful feeling just to have that soothing music to calm you while you're driving.
Yeah.
I've realized that, I used to get so angry driving on the road, and it's easy to get angry while you're driving on the road.
Yes.
But there's something about invoking the Spirit into you while you're driving on your journey without even realizing it. It's making such a difference in calming me. So if you want to cut me off, it's okay. Go ahead. And that's just where oh my God, it's so good.
Oh,
God is so good.
Well, thank you so much for. I love hearing what it means to you because our whole goal here at the station is to make your day better, and it sounds like we're doing our job.
Yes, you are. You are doing a phenomenal job.
Well, thank you very much.
Phenomenal. Yay! Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Oh my God. God bless you. I hope He continues to do wondrous work through you. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Kadeen, so excited to win that pair of tickets to the Andrew Ripp concert. Hey, you know what? You can find out more about that concert on our website, 885jfm.com. Click that banner at the top of the page. It says Andrew Ripp. It's got Rachel Lampa, Blessing Offer. They're all going to be there for the Big Feelings Tour this Sunday, November 12th at Mars Music Hall in Huntsville. So all ticket information is right there. And guess what? Tomorrow, I'll have another pair of tickets to give away, so be listening for the cue to call, and who knows, you might be as excited as Kadeen was to call in and find out that, hey, you won a pair of tickets. This is so much fun. Thank you for hanging out with me. All right, stick around. I got time for one more song, then I'll be back with your inspiring thought of the day. All right, you just need to breathe and fall on me right here on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. In your loudest moments, the world sees you. But in silence, who turns their gaze your way? Who checks on you when you're quiet? When the noise of life fades and you're left with your thoughts, who reaches out to ensure that your silence isn't a cry for help, but a peaceful moment of rest? The people who notice your quietness, who see the space you take up, even when you feel invisible, they are the rare gems in your life. It's in these moments of quiet that we find out who truly walks with us. Not for the conversation or the laughter, but simply for the company. They're the ones who offer a hand even when we haven't asked for one, who understand that checking in is more than a courtesy. It's a lifeline. Today, let's appreciate those silent guardians in our lives, and let's be that person for someone else. Because sometimes the most powerful form of connection isn't a chorus of words, but a shared quiet that says, I'm here for you. If this message speaks to you, well, let's spread the kindness. Check in on someone today. Be the one who reaches out. Wow, I love that. That's from the Happiness Blueprint. I found them over on TikTok, and I thought it was so well said. I had to share it with you as the inspiring quote or inspiring thought of the day. I wanted to fuel you today. Yeah, we need to remember those people who really care for us. And sometimes it's funny how God puts people on your mind, just out of the blue. Well, sometimes I just take that as a hint that, hey, I need to call that person. I need to find out if they're doing all right. And I've been doing a lot of that here lately. And let me tell you, it's been very well received. That somebody knows that you're thinking about them really touches their heart. And to rekindle those friendships, maybe those long-lost friends you haven't seen in years, they just came across your mind, you're like, I gotta check on them. You never know where that might take you. I'm just saying, reach out today. Check on your friends. Check on your families. Check on all those people that mean a lot to you. You'll be glad you did. And hey, while you're at it, be led by the Holy Spirit. If you see an opportunity to pray, pray for them. It'll really help. Just out of the blue. And then, you know what? You just became an answered prayer in their life. It's awesome how God works those things out. Thanks so much for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. It's been an absolute blast. I want to see you right back here tomorrow from 6 to 10 for another one. Can we do it? All right. I'll see you then.